Okay, viewers, well, since this motor's new in the box as a spare, I want to see if it actually works. Plug it in. No, totally dead. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't new in the box, maybe this one was a spare and he used it for a bit and it's stuffed up. I should investigate this one and see what's wrong with it. Okay viewers, I decided to get the pressure switch off. The diaphragm's okay. That pushes on that. You adjust that screw and it makes this harder or softer. And that's your pressure setting. And that must be some sort of bloody breather or a check valve in there. Well, I'll put that back on, and since that seems to be okay, let's get the motor apart. I bet something's gone bang in there because nothing happened when I turned it on, so something must have gone bang. Okay viewers, I think something has gone bang. That coil on the inductor looks like it's been burnt out there. That's on the active side. Active comes up through the cord, back up through the switch, so there's this thick black wire in. And that coil was the active side on this side here. That's the active side and that's burnt out. The neutral side's okay, but there's some inductor, the ferrite's cracked. It got hot. There's a crack in the ferrite coil there. Right, let's pull this bloody assembly off. There's an absolute bastard to work on. You got to line everything up and it's just a nightmare. To make these things a nightmare to work on so you don't repair them. Bloody bastards. As you can see, these wires aren't that flexible and they're starting to, don't like it, they're starting to crack. There's an awful lot of black scum there, so I reckon that motor must have burnt out or the brushes must have took a crack. Okay, viewers, moment of truth. Ooh, there's black stuff in there. A lot on this one. Ooh, that's very nasty. Yep, just overlapped and burnt the bloody wire out. Ooh, this one looks very nasty, this one. That bearing must have seized. Yeah. That ain't too healthy. Yep, this motor took a shit. Quite literally. Get me more lightage in there. Yeah, the com bars are all scorched. That is one cooked out motor. I wonder if it actually turns. Oh bloody hell, let's pull the housing off, that might make it easier. And the magnet's holding it in place, it's so strong. Ugh, it's pulling itself in. I need two hands for that one. Okay viewers, I guess this motor wasn't a spare. The other one I had before this was a replacement. Turns alright. Feels alright. I can feel the pump operating. Little arc point in there. The windings are okay, there's no break in them. There you go, one field's, here we go. That one there's come off. This one's taking a dump. Yep, it's a definitely Chinese made motor. Okay, I've just disconnected those wires in here. Alright. I might just give it a good clean up. Really solder that wire on there, clean up the commutator and variac it and see what happens. Bring the power up slowly. Get it past that dead spot and see what it does. Hopefully if that bridge rectifier is not popped or shorted. Man, a big failure there. Yeah, I don't think this is fixable. Now that I've cleaned it, I found a couple of popped, there's a flashover point there. Got bloody hot too. There's a couple of broken windings in here. More than one of these must have gone short. So the weakest point is in here. I reckon this bearing or something from the factory has just lacked grease. It got hot, built up friction, overloaded the weakest point, which would have been here at the com bars. shorted out. Must have kept going for a bit, and that overloaded this circuitry here. The brushes are okay. I also have a spare set of brushes for the other pump motor. We've got a cracked diode there. That main input wire is just blown clean off, overamped. A totally fried thermal fuse, so I think that's what that is. And its inductor here, it's got a hole in it. Got so hot and that's distorted. Definitely a Chinese made motor, definitely. The pump's still okay. Got a couple of, got some water coming out of it. Yeah, don't think I'm going to be able to repair this one. It's going to be a spare parts in it, I think. We'll see if this bridge rectifier is okay. That will come in handy. Well, let's pull this apart and get this off. Try and autopsy the pump. Non-destructively, they're going to try and repurpose that pump. Well, this will have a spare parts unit. Okay viewers, that's the valve assembly. Now I'll turn this so you'll see how this pump actually works. Swash plate behind there, you can see. Quite simple. Even the diaphragm seems to be in good nick in this one. Definitely a good spare parts in it. Now your little tool, I think it's a point. You could use circlip pliers, go in there, twist it, and it should come out a certain way. And behind there, you got to get the swash plate mechanism out to separate this shaft. Okay, viewers, well, you just cannot get these things apart without completely destroying them. These things just don't turn. They'll turn a little bit, and they seem to bind up. I don't know what sort of plastic they're made out of, but it's very, very weak and brittle material. You could scratch hard enough, you could dig your fingernail into it. Very cheap, nasty stuff, so I'm going to break all those away. So I can't even keep the bloody diaphragm as a spare. They're just not made to be repaired. You must glue these things in, or clip them in, and that's it, and they're not supposed to come out. You pull on them hard enough, you destroy the diaphragm and break these, because they're just weak plastic. Viewers, I've got the diaphragm off, put a couple of holes in it unfortunately. Not that it's bloody replaceable anyway, and that's what held it on. Just won't come all the way out for some reason, there's something holding it in. Grub screw in there, there's an offset swash plate. Try and get this thing out so I can see it a bit better. Okay viewers, I got this thing apart. There's a grub screw there in the swash plate. That went on there, and that would have been over that. But to get this enough room in there, you have to have a bloody fair bit of gap to get that bloody access to that grub screw. You have to put a lot of force on this. As you can see, it's not very strongly built. It's already starting to split. So to pull it out, which puts stress on that to get to this bloody screw, it destroys it. And that's the one of the clamps, little pistons here that held the diaphragm on. That was held on one of these 4 screws, which were in the swash plate here. And there you go. Very poorly made. Get that off. See what this bearing's like. Yeah, it's a bit noisy as well. There you go, viewers. One cheap, dodgy pump and motor. I might as well pull the switch apart and show you how all this works. I wonder what that is. I reckon that's pressure release. If something over pressurises, that must be a bypass. Let's pull it out and see what's inside. Okay, viewers, got this top part off. That's inside the assembly here. It's a filter. And there's little rubber things, are your valves. One-way valves. I just think there's one in the middle there for your pressure switch. They're okay, so I'll keep them as spares. Now to get this off, to get this little relief valve out, it goes out there and just leaks outside into this outer area here. And that's the overpressure relief valve. Safety valve, so under those screws. Get this switch off and slide this out and see how this all works. Okay, I've yours got that out. That's a pressure valve there. Little diaphragm pops up on this spring and bypasses. Now this is another destructive bloody autopsy here. This would not come out, it just sheared off and break apart. Now it did say in a box this was made from recycled plastic. Very typical of recycled plastic, especially with these. Just crap. Okay, viewers will already be enough for now. I have some spare parts. I keep this, the switch for the other one, and the brushes for the other one. So that'll be enough for now. Thanks for watching.